Hello guys, welcome to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at a beta map. Now I typically don't bring beta maps into this channel, but this map I've been told is about 95% complete and in version 3, which should be the final release. There's going to be some previously undeveloped areas developed. I think the sawmill will be reworked a little bit, but most, if not all, of the actual base map, base gameplay stuff is how it's going to be in the final version. So I thought I'd just go ahead and bring this map into the channel to get a little buzz going, because this is a pretty nice map. This is an American map. And in previous videos, I've described various maps as being an American style map. But this is actually an American map, and I'll go into kind of the details as to what I think is different between an American style map and an American map in a little bit. So this is Upper Mississippi River Valley. This is version 2 beta, and this map can be found posted over at the DR Modding or DR Mod Map Facebook site, and there will be a link to that in the description. Currently, as of the recording of this video, there is a pinned post at the top of that page that has a link that has links to 5 mod packs or 5 zip files that should be downloaded for use with this map. The first one is obviously the map itself. It's a fairly big file, but it's a 4x map with an insane amount of detail. So the size can be somewhat expected, and to some degree, a very large portion of the map items are custom made or custom textured for this particular map. The second file is a required mods zip, and this zip file contains several mods that are required in order to properly play the game. They include various things like augers, other things like that. There's a Upper Mississippi River Valley version 2 mod pack. Now the mod pack is not necessarily required, but can help with gameplay as far as immersion. There's some trucks and trailers in there. There's some American style John Deere tractors in there. There's a couple other things in there that basically help you kind of get immersion into the American map. Some of those trucks are skinned to work with industries that are on the map as well. We have a Backhoe Augers revised zip file, and you'll need this to basically pull grain out of and put grain into the grain bins that are on the map. And then you have an Upper Mississippi River Valley placeable bin pack, which basically has all kinds of skinned storage bins that are used all over the map that you'll need. And like I said, I'll have a link to that Facebook page where you can get all that information. So let's go ahead and jump on in. So here is, ignore the Big Bud and the Coon Pack. These are my DLCs that I've got. And the Jeep, that's our 4X map excursion vehicle. But all the rest of these that are listed here are included either in the required mods or in the mod pack itself. Okay. Notice there is this map traffic lights mod. Now I want to show this to you right now because there is a Lua error that pops up when the map loads related to this, I think. But it doesn't affect gameplay. Everything still seems to work. So let's go ahead and pull up the log and load up the map. So we got a warning here related to the sky. This map does have a custom sky and night in it, and it is absolutely amazing. There is a moon on the map that shows up at nighttime and goes away during about mid-morning. So that's pretty cool. So here are the Lua Errors, and it might be a little hard to see what's listed here, but basically it talks about there's a Lua call stack error, and then the path is given the map amplin mod Lua, and that is that's the traffic light zip file. So I'm sure you could take that out. It might mean the traffic lights don't change. or blank, but if you don't want the Lua Error, then you can get rid of it. But like I said, it only pops up. It only seems to pop up during map load up, and doesn't seem to affect map gameplay at all. Alright, so here we are. We start here on the front porch. And now I'm going to do this video in segments. So this is typically not how I do videos. Typically when I do a map video, I will, the moon will show up right here. And we'll show that off at some point during the video. But what I will do is kind of do the video in segments, simply because there's a lot going on with this map, and if you watch a video that the map author has done, and I'll put a link to that also in the description, a link to their YouTube channel, you'll hear them talk about basically they did not put in zone markers on purpose because they really felt that it affected immersion. So typical help icons and zone markers are not going to be found on the map. So I want to go into some good detail at each farm as to what does what. So first, let's take a look at the map itself. So here we are. This is the Mississippi River. This is the Wisconsin side of the river. This is the Iowa side of the river, as I understand it from his video. We have our standard crop types on the map. And on this particular, at least on this particular beta version, we are owners of all the fields. I don't know if this will change. I suspect it will, simply because a 4x map in some of these fields, like 31, is something like 38 hectares in size. Field 1, which is kind of smallish looking on the map, is 12 hectares in size. So there are some pretty big maps, pretty big fields, and then there's some pretty small fields over here kind of running along the river. But it would be really cool if you could get, I think it'd be really cool if you could adjust the crop output of a field, because I think these fields up here should have a lot higher crop output because they're in a floodplain, and in theory would have a more nutrient rich soil than maybe fields over here. At least that's my thinking. That might be wrong. So on easy mode, there are crops that you start out with. On hard mode, which is why we do these videos, we don't start with any crops. We have 3 main sell points for all of our crops. We have a Suncore Energy, which only takes corn. We have a spinnery, we have wood chip, 2 places to take wood chips, and 2 bale sell points are for hay, straw, and grass. So here's our starting equipment. It's all fairly new. The pickup's a little old, but doesn't have very many operating hours, and nothing is leased. We're going to go ahead and take out a loan so that during our walkarounds at the various segments of the video, we will have money to buy animals and such. And speaking of animals, we have all 3 animal types on this map. We don't start out with any animals. We don't start out with anything in the various troughs. And our silo has a capacity of 100,000 liters. Alright, so let's drop this back down here. And let's take a look at our starting equipment. So we start out with some pretty beefy tractors. We have a Case IH theme going on here. We have the Case IH Optimum at 313 horsepower. We have the Quad Track at nearly 700 horsepower. We have the large harvester, the Case 9230. We have both the corn header and the grain header. We have ourselves a tipper, the Horsch cultivator, a Kuhn plow, the seeder here, which is for corn, soybeans, sunflowers, and sugar beets. This is very typical of the type of seeder you're going to find in this general area, often referred to as the corn belt. So you're not going to be seeing a whole ton of canola and various things like that. I mean, you'll have wheat and barley, obviously, to get your straw, but the vast amount of stuff that's going to be planted is going to be right there. And then we have 2 different pickups. We've got the old style and the new style pickup. And then we start with several of these grain bins. Brock, GSI, Twister, Weitzel, Sioux. So these are scattered all around the map, and you see they have a capacity of 300,000 liters, 400,000 liters, 500,000 liters, etc. So I'm going to show you a couple things related to the store because of this unique map. We have, of course, in the pack or in the included downloads, there are a fleet of John Deeres here. If you're John Deere flavored, you can get your John Deere on. There's a couple trucks here. This one is branded for the map. And then in our auger wagons, we have the Farm King and the Sanduck auger. The Farm King would be to load grain into the bin. The Sanduck would be the auger to pull grain out of the bin. Alright, so you're going to need these to put grain in and out of these bins. In the sprayers, there is a John Deere saddle tank, and this holds liquid fertilizer. We have a custom low loader. You'll need the front and one of the two rears in order to use the low loader that's included in the pack. And then we have cars. Not this. This is the one I put in for our map video. There is a Chevy Silverado, a Dodge Ram, and this one is branded for the map. And then we have a 650, and then we've got a couple sheriff vehicles, and these are skinned to be true to life sheriff vehicles for this particular area of the country. Placeables, we have included in the map pack all of these bins that you can drop down and add if you need more storage around the map. Okay, and then lastly, under belt systems, you have the Backhoe Auger, and this would be putting grain into the silo. And then you have this Backhoe Auger conveyor. It looks like you could basically drive up under this with a belly dump, and then this would feed into this, which would then go into the grain bin. So that's going to basically conclude the first segment of this map video. We're going to come back and we're going to basically walk around the main farm here and explore the main farm. Some of the equipment, there will be some other equipment on this map when I do that. So maybe I should just go ahead and kind of do a quick run through of the map itself, or not the map, but this farm here. So we've got here nice old pickup truck that's kind of been abandoned. Here's our plow. You can see we've got a dog on the map. Alright, I'm just checking. I don't know if these doors open or not. Oh, yes, they do. So we've got a button here. We hit the button. We hold the button down and the door goes up. And then inside here, we have a light switch somewhere. I think we would. Alright, well, this building doesn't seem to have a light, but there's pretty much lights in every other building that we open up. So we have our chickens. Let's go over here and check out our chickens. We've got diesel fuel. We've got some old grain bins here. Here's our doggy again. Here's our chickens. And one of the things that I like about this map is we've got some decoration around here that you typically don't see. Right now we've got what appears to be an old concrete slab, some foundation walls of what appears to be like an old barn or an old shed that was here at one point in time. It has either fallen down or been taken down, and the foundation and stuff is still here. The chickens are kind of been put over here in this area. There's some other junk that's kind of been piled up. We got our old International 453 that's seen much better days. It's just sitting here. And here's some of the bins. These are some of the grain bins. This is a Sioux bin that you'll need to use. And this is where you will get out of the grain. And obviously you're not going to put a tipper under that. You're going to have to put an auger under that. And if we fire up the trigger here, you'll see there's a trigger there for that auger, and there's a trigger way up top, and that's where you basically need to run your auger in order to fill the bin, way up there. This is the sheep area, so this is the sheep farm. We've got our feed trough here, and we're going to show you that in a little bit more detail later. This is where you're going to put water to water your sheep. And we'll show you that with an actual water trailer and stuff here in a bit. So we've got, here's our starting equipment. We've got 3 of these shelters. And these 2 shelters are rather unique because these also will serve as silage bunkers, should you want to do silage here on the sheep farm. Obviously you wouldn't be feeding your sheep silage, but you could use this bunker to do silage for other purposes. Go ahead and open up this building, and this is where our equipment is stored. So we have our big old quad track here, we got our harvester, and we got our Optima tractor. At least I think it's, yeah, Optima. And then we've got some nice decorations around the building. Where's our light switches? Oh, here they are. So the door's open. Okay, and the light switches. Now let's pay attention to the throw of the light switches. We're going to turn the lights on, and you see the light switches have flipped up. We're going to turn them off. The light switches have flipped down, so that's pretty cool. And then in every, pretty much in every shop, there's going to be this repair kit. As you can see, it is mobile. Okay, and if you look at our, oops, I didn't want to jump into the tractor. If you look at the F1 menu, you can see that we can configure. So we can now configure this tractor should we so wish. So this is basically the portable toolbox, and they are scattered around the map all over the place. So any place you see this repair kit toolbox, that is a configuration point, and it is mobile. So let's keep on looking around here. Here we have a nice bank barn. Very, very American. So we can come up here, we can store things in the top of the barn. I heard some cows. So you can roll in here and put some bales up in here. You can park some smaller tractors in here, implements and whatnot. We got a dryer working there. Let's go around the back. So right now this bin is simply decoration. There was talk in the video that I watched about maybe making this a fermentation silo, but we'll have to see if that happens in version 3. Let's go ahead and come on around to the back of the barn. Open up the gate here. Open up this gate. Open up the door here. So these are just some animated static cows. These have absolutely, these are not cows that you can buy or sell. These are just animated cows here living in the barn. Should open that from the other side, I guess. And along that same line, we have an animated cow here that just kind of roams around the pen here. And we have a horse here that's animated that will just be trotting around this little enclosure to kind of liven up the barn and the farmyard here. And And we have this area over here, which I'm going to show you after we explore the cow area, because this is pretty cool what the guy did, or what the map authors did. I don't know if this was one guy or a team of guys, but it's pretty cool what he did with this particular area. And I'm going to refer to he as the collective. So if there are more than one guy that worked on this map, you are referred to when I say he. If there is not, then I'm using the proper terminology. Anyway, so I think that's pretty cool what they did, or what he did, with respect to this area. And we're going to revisit this area after we get some cows over at the cow barn. Don't be, for those who are cat fans, don't be dismayed. There is an animated kitty cat over here. I saw him basically running around over here in the video. It's kind of a hard thing to find. There he goes. There she is. There's a little kitty cat running around chasing the mouse. Alright, so when we come back, we're going to basically explore the rest of this local farm with respect to the sheep. We'll buy some sheep, we will feed the sheep, we'll water the sheep, and kind of explore a little bit more around the sheep itself. And like I said, we're going to explore this map in segments. I'm going to piece it together so it kind of works as if it was an uncut video, which is how I normally do them. But we're going to explore the map in segments. Also, this is a water fill point, so anywhere you see the water spigot with a hose and the sign, that is a water fill point. Alright, so when we come right back, we will have ourselves some additional equipment. We'll have some additional money in order to care for our and demo out our sheep. So I was trying to come up with an interesting way to show you the snow mask, as well as to show you the custom night sky on this map. So I booted up a different save game that I have that I plan on doing a personal play on, and have seasons enabled on here. And of course, you start at 6 a.m. So it's pretty dark. And I wanted to show you the custom night sky. We've got clear skies, lots of stars out here, and it gets real dark at night. It's not near as dark now. It will get pitch black during the wee hours of the night. And we've got a little treat over here. We do have a moon basically in the night sky. So that's pretty cool. And we're going to go ahead and speed up time to have a sunrise. And the moon will fade away after a little period of time. We can still see the stars coming through as the sun comes up. The stars will fade out, the moon will fade out, and we have ourselves daytime here on Upper Mississippi River Valley. So I also wanted to show the snow mask. So we're going to add a few layers of snow to the map. And once the snow pops in, you'll see that this map does have a snow mask. It'll take a little bit of time for the snow to populate. Okay, so there we go. So you can see we've been masked here. We should have no snow in our sheds. We got a little bleed through, but that's okay. Anybody that's attempted to mask a map will know the frustrations on trying to not have any snow through any of the building. So let's go ahead and take a look on over here. Some of the other buildings. You can see pretty good snow. We got a little snow blowing in the door there. Our bunkers have been snow masked. This building's got a bit of a mask. Now it's bleeding in, so the snow's blowed in. So that's something to be paying attention to. So I wanted to get out here to the Jeep. And it's up to the poor dog's belly, the snow is. And I wanted to drive around, and I don't remember if, I don't know if the roads are snow masked or not. It doesn't look like they are. So it's going to be important to, yep, this road's not snowmassed. So let's see if we can make it out to the main road here before the snow melts away. So if you are playing this map with seasons, whoa, we don't want to go in the ditch. If you're playing this map with seasons, you want to make sure that that you clear the snow off of these gravel roads at a minimum. Let's get up here to the main road and see if we have a mask on that. Then we'll jump back to the other save and continue the overall tour. But I did want to show you that this map is fully seasons prepared. There is a snow mask. It appears to be somewhat localized to buildings and areas around the farms. And the main road here is clear. So thankfully the county has come through and plowed off the main road. But it appears that they have stopped here at the tertiary roads. So once you get out here to the main road, you're good to go, because the county's already plowed it. But be careful on these gravel roads. You're going to want to clear those before you get out here during the wintertime. Hey guys, we're back, and I've made a few changes. You'll see that we've got a lot more money now. I've basically sold off the starting fleet except for the 2 pickups. I've picked up the New Holland tractor, and I've picked up a water trailer that's up there, and we're going to use that to test out the sheep area, and we're pretty much going to use those to test out the other animal areas. Since there are no zone markers on here, I wanted to demonstrate where you would buy your sheep right here. So we're going to go ahead and buy up 10 sheep just for fun. So there you see them spawn in. That's where they are, roaming around this area. Now I don't know where the wool pallets spawn, so we need to feed them some grass. So we've already got some grass in our tipper here. So we're going to go ahead and bring this around here to the feeding trough. And tip it in. Okay. There we go. And we'll leave that here. Let's go ahead and get the water. Now, in some testing of this map by some other people, I know that there is an issue with the sheep cleanliness. The sheep get dirty, but there's no place to clean the grass up. So until version 3, I would say to use the animal table manners mod. That way that the animals never get dirty. So we're going to back our trailer up right up to here and start filling it. Again, any place that has a water spigot like this is going to fill your water. We are paying for our water, but you know, it's not that expensive. I think there's, you know, free water is everyone always says, where's the free water at? But you know what? Paying for water isn't all that big of a deal. Alright, so we're going to roll this over here, and now for the sheep, we've got this hose that's just kind of coiled up. That is our water. So if we look at our sheep here, you'll see that we now have water and we now have hay. Okay, so we're going to speed up time and see where that pallet spawns. So let's turn this thing off, and let's go back here and look for a pallet of wool. I'm guessing it's going to spawn in this building. Up there, Win. I guessed accurately. Oh, okay. That's a problem. Let's see here. Is there some other way into this area? Okay. This is how you really need to be coming in to get that pallet. You need to come in from here and then come around, and this is a pretty tight area. Let's go ahead and I can't move that out of the way. Let's speed up time some more and see if we get more wool appearing. We might not, since we knocked it. But this is a pretty tight spot. You might need to come in here with a skid steer to maneuver around and get that pallet. Yep. It looks like wool is still spawning in the pallet there. So we now know where our wool pallets spawn up. That's where we put our water in for our sheep. Somehow the sheep magically get water out of that container. And here's where we put our grass. And as I said, we found in some testing, some play testing, that this area does not get dirty. There is an issue with the dirty plane, the dirt plane. So it's suggested to put in the animal table manners mod for this particular release, version 2, just so that you don't end up having unproductive sheep as a result of them being all dirty. So when we come back, we will be driving over to the cow farm, which is in the northwest east of the map. Sorry, we're going to go over to the cow farm and check that out. We'll do a tour. We'll have our trailer and our water trailer hooked up here, and we'll just test some cow stuff out. With our tractor to the sheep farm, or the cow farm, let me go ahead and pull the big map up. Let's go ahead and zoom out as far as we can. Give you guys some visual on the map, and give you guys some frame of reference as to how big this map is and how far you can see. Do you see those that blue silo way over there? Where are we at? We are. Let's turn this around so we're pointed toward it. So you see that blue silo right over there? That's the cow farm. I was going the wrong way anyway. That's the cow farm. We're going to drive toward that particular area. So as we drive toward it, you'll see that we will that'll be getting closer and closer. This is a 4x map. This map is huge. We're going to go ahead and drive up here and turn at this intersection between fields 22 and 21. Let's go ahead and drop that down. You'll also see that these fields, these roads have quite the ditches on either side. These are not ditches that you want to be driving into, or you may find yourself in the need of a tow bar to get pulled out. So you'll see grain bins scattered around, storage bins. So that is a sell point that we're looking at. That is Suncor Energy way down there. That particular sell point only takes corn. Okay. So we'll look at this particular. There's also little scattered farms all over the place. So everywhere where you see kind of a fuel depot that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, that's kind of a farm. Let's slow this down. Sorry. I'm going to have to adjust the time on that. So we'll look at that farm later. Like I said, we're going to focus first on these animal areas. I want to demonstrate the feeding of the animals, the buying of the animals and everything. So here are 3 grain bins that are part of the bin pack that is one of the required mods. These are bins that you can store crops in. So let's do F5. So you see the big rectangles on the top of the roofs. So that's the trigger for the fill. And then you see the small vertical rectangles. That's the trigger to empty. And I'll have a link to a video where the map author kind of explains how to use those grain bins. I'm not going to demonstrate that in this particular video. So there's a water tower. That water tower is probably over in town. We'll see that water tower once again when we get down to the town area. So like I said, here we are. We're coming up to the cow area. There we are. We can see right through the water, crystal clear water. Rolling fields. Again, these huge ditches. Be very careful, these ditches. So this map does not have traffic currently in it, so we don't have to worry about stopping there. Alright, so this is the cow area. This is a cow farm. So you have your house over here on the hill. You have a nice lake or a little pond. Drainage area with a pier, whatever we want to call that. Another large body of water over here. I just like how this water looks. Let's roll on in here. So this is, let's see what the sign on the farm says. This is Stanley Dairy Farm, and in the mod pack there is a truck, a Dodge pickup truck that has that logo blazoned on the doors. Alright, so we're going to pull one up in here, and then we're going to shut this off. And we're going to get out and we're going to look around. So the dairy farm is the only farm on this map with a true Farm Sim 17 silo. So here's your dump. There's your fill pipe. So anything you put in here will be registered in your prices screen right here. Any crop that you put in the other bins that are scattered around the map will not show up in your prices screen. You'll just have to remember that you put crops in there, and you'll need to put the augers in to pull those crops out. But this is the only proper silo on the map that will register and show your inventory in the prices screen. Let's go ahead and open this on up. So I wonder what this is. I'm getting a heck of a frame drop on here when I bring that up, but I don't see any trigger in here. So I think this is just storage. Let's see if these have collision walls. They do. So you'll be able to tip anywhere into there. I think this is just kind of a storage. Oh, look at that sunset. I think this is just on a big storage building. Check this door, and let's check the light switches. Yep, not super bright lights, but they do work. Alright, so we do have silage bunkers around here. hit our F1. So we have our chaff indicator. We have our chaff indicator. Oops, wrong button. This is a nice shed for bale storage. If you want to put bales in here. Okay. Here's our diesel fuel. We have a nice nice bit of grass here that we can use to mow up. So here's our manure pile and our slurry tank for our cows. And here's our cow area. Let's go see where we buy these critters at. Does this door work? Nope, the door doesn't work. Okay. Oops. Well, while we're looking over here, so we've got these two big harvest store silos. These are fermentation silos, so you'll put grass or chaff in here. Over time, you'll get silage out of here, and you'll see the LCD readout to tell you how much you have of both raw material and finished product. We see a bunch of little calves in there. I wonder, can we open? There we go. So here's kind of like a breeding barn. I'll open the door here. Looks like there's a light switch over here. Whoa, that's a bright light. Alright. Okay. Here's our water. Okay, so there you can get water if you want. Alright, so here we have just some equipment storage. And as I said at the other farm, here's that mobile repair kit. There's one pretty much at every farm. Okay. Let's go ahead and open this on up. You'll be able to put lots of equipment in this building. So let's see, is there a trigger here? There is. So it looks like this is already equipped with a trigger to pull milk out of. Oh, there's a gate there we're opening. Alright, so I'm looking for the buy cow trigger. Alright guys, so I figured out where to buy our cows from, and I really should have been paying more attention. So there's a building A and a building B. And in building A, there's this big door that says loading. And this is where you buy your cows. So let's go ahead and buy us up some. Alright, so we got ourselves some moo cows in here. Let's take a look. So I think from watching the video of the map author, what he said is that there is no animated cows in these barns, simply because of so much of the other things that are in here. You know, the railings and whatnot. I think the cows just roam down here in this grass area. There's some. Okay. So while there's no feeding troughs... Oh, wait, what is this? I don't see a cow go in there. No, it is not. So while there's no feeding troughs or anything there at the cow areas, you would feed them in here at these barns. So I'll go and demonstrate that right now for you. Alright, so let's go ahead and disconnect our water trailer. So in building number A, or building letter A here, this is where we're going to pull through and tip. So we can pull through here and just tip. And we'll be able to tip our grass in here. We'll be able to tip our silage in here and our straw. Okay. Let me show you this. We missed this whole barn. So this is a huge barn in here. Where are we at? Where's the light switch? It's down there. So there's this huge barn in here that would be ideal for vehicle storage, bale storage, pretty much whatever you want to store in here. It's a big old barn. You got plenty of room. You could park a whole fleet of harvesters in here if you wanted to. Alright. So let's pull on over here, and we'll put this little bit of grass in this fermentation silo. And we'll come on around. And we'll park this under here. Now let's go do our water. So we saw our fill hose somewhere. I don't really remember where it was now. But we definitely saw our fill hose. Well, over here, this is where we put our water in, interestingly enough, in building B. You'll see this. Water for livestock only. Okay, so wherever you see this, this is probably where you put water in. Alright, so let's back up to this. And we get our tip icon. We had our tip icon. There we go. And now we're putting water in for our cows. So there's our grass. There's our water. Okay. Let's go ahead and back on down here and see if we can't fill from this. This is a complete experiment. I have no idea if we can fill from here or not. It does not look like we can fill from this pond. So that answers that question. See if we have silage yet. There we see we had silage just pop in. So we now have 960 liters of silage. Okay. So let's go ahead and feed this to our cows. Again, we go in building A. And we just tip it on in there. They took it. So there's 960 hay and silage. So that's the cow areas. or area. But before we get done with the cows, oops, sorry. Before we get done with the cows, there's one thing I want to show you back at the sheep farm. Here's where our water is. I knew we saw it earlier. So there's our water. That's where we can get water. And we already saw where we put our water in at. So before we put our cows to bed, I want to jump. We're going to teleport back to the back to the sheep farm, because this, I think, is really cool. What he's done. All right. So now we're back at the sheep farm. Okay. There's our sheeps. We heard them. Remember, this meadow was just empty. Remember, we didn't have anything in here. Now we got ourselves some cows. Now, these are supposed to be animated. They appear to be frozen. So these cows come from the cow farm. So they should be animated. They're frozen. Sorry about that. Let's see. Is this horse frozen? Is everything frozen? No, they're moving. Are these still frozen? Yep. So this was completely empty. This didn't have any animals in it. These cows showed up after we bought them over at the cow area. So I thought that was really cool that they basically made cows spawn over here. Now, these cows magically get fed from the cow area, but I thought it was really cool that they showed up here. So let's jump back to here. And through the magic of science and television, when we come back, this tipper will be full of pig food. Alright, so let's make our way down to the pig farm. Not too terrible long of a drive. We go out here to the stop sign. And make ourselves a right, it looks like. Correct? Yep, I'm going to go that way. And we want to go straight. So we don't want to follow the main road, we want to follow this gravel drive. These trees we've got to look at. You don't want to fall in that gully. That's for sure. So without seasons installed, you can see that there is plenty of cornfields around the map. It's a heck of a river cut through, or creek. I don't see any water in there. It must be dry. Alright, so that silo is just decoration. That is not actually a storable silo. There's more corn. So the pig farm is right up here on our right. What does it say? It says road closed ahead. So all of these street signs, these are all custom signs that are in the map. Stop signs. Alright, so this is part of the pig farm. So you have the pig farm proper, I guess, over here. And then you have kind of the pig farm storage and everything in there. This is dead end, private road, no trespassing. Let's go on in here and take a look around at the pig area. In here we have a silo. You see the two triggers. So that is a storable silo. There you see the cow farm off in the distance. Alright. Let's go on in here. So this is the this is where the pigs are going to be. This is where you're going to tip your food in, and then they're going to get fed through these pipes. Okay. This is where you're going to put your water. This actually might be 2 water triggers. That might be where you fill and where you get your put your water in. We'll have to check that out. You got your manure pit with some bushes growing up. They should be growing really nice. Either that or they're burned out. Nice little storage shed for maybe straw. And we should have a slurry fill point around here somewhere. Let's go ahead and buy up our pigs. Let's run around the map again and run around here and look for a slurry trigger again. Is this it? There it is. So we have an underground slurry tank right there. Let's go ahead and see if we fill up our food there. Like I said, through the magic of television, we have a tipper full of, not full, but we have a tipper with pig food in it. Let's go ahead and check our animals. So they now have food. And we're going to drop that. We won't need that anymore. Let's go ahead and back on up to this. And let's see if we have 2 triggers here. Looks like we definitely do. We have 2 triggers here. So let me pull up to the... Get rid of that. Let me pull up here to the to this side, and I can fill. Okay. And let me pull up here to this side, and let me see if I can empty. I'm still filling. No, I'm emptying. There you go. So you can fill and empty from there. So I had to R to fill and I to unload. So there you have it, guys. That is the pig area. And the pigs spawn in here. There you go. This is where they live. They never get to go outside. You see the pig food is spawned here in the trough. Alright. Well, let's go over here and check out the pig farm house and the other buildings. We took out our road sign. Kind of interesting. The mailbox is way up here. I think it'd be a little further down the further down. There's a what is that? That's an Iowa. What is that? Buckeye? Iowa Buckeyes. Oops, here we go. Let's open our garage door. There we have storm cellar. Open this garage door. We have another one of these half dome barns. Open it up, so there you've got some storage for your equipment and whatnot for your cow farm or for your pigs. We have two more silos here, and as the video that I'm going to link in the description will tell you, is look for the ladder, and right there where my circle is a little door. That's what your target is going to be for, as far as the fill. And you'll see there's the middle of the fill rectangle trigger. So always look for the ladder and think you're going to climb the ladder, and that's the hatch you're going to get into to climb down and get inside the bin to clean it out. Now there is a door here, but you can't really get in there until you empty it out pretty good. And then this is where you would fill. You'd need to put another auger under there. But again, I'll show you the video. Let's open the door. Where's the, maybe it's inside. Let's open our door here. Yep. Oh, this one. We've got a nice hydraulic sound. We've got a hydraulic cylinder there. Opening the door. Here we have the buttons for this door and to turn on our lights. There's the Hawkeyes. There we got University of Iowa Stadium, American flag. Oh, look, here is our repair thing. Like I said, every farm is going to have that. Nice signs. All right. And we have lots of building storage here on the pig farm. Lots of storage on the pig farm. It's really awesome. There's our lights there we turned on. There's our diesel tank. Here's another storage bin. Lots of storage here at the pig farm. And you would think, well, in a real pig farm, you can only put one crop. You can only put corn in there. You can only put soybeans in there. You can only put wheat in there, let's say. Those are just 3 crops I just arbitrarily picked. And you can put corn, soybeans, and wheat in there if you wanted. But in the game, you could put all 5 crops in here if you wanted. But if you want to play with some realism, you'd put 1 crop in there. You'd put 1 crop in there, 1 in there, and 1 in the bin down there. And that would be all the crops you would need to feed your pigs if you fed them independently. Here's another storage shed. So plenty of vehicle storage and equipment storage down here at the pig farm. Alright, so we are going to ditch our tractor. We are going to head back to the sheep farm. We're going to pick up a proper truck. We're going to pick up our Jeep, and we are going to start exploring the map as we would typically do in our videos.